Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So in the last lesson, we covered reflexive pronouns. Today we're going to cover something very similar. It's called reciprocal pronouns. So we have zamir marfu, zamir mansub, zamir majroor. We discuss all of these, and this is a list of all of the pronouns. What we have here is a sentence. They love each other. What do we have? They love each other. This is very similar. What's happening here? Who's the subject? No, who's the subject? Who's doing the loving? They. This is the subject. Okay? Who is the loved? Who is the maf'ul?
The next ayah. Each other. So this
it is not. It is they, which is each other. So it is the they is the fa'il, the each other is a maf'ul bihi, but the each other is actually, you can't say they love they. So if you go back to our previous lesson, is one person is the fa'il, the same person is a maf'ul bihi, and he is doing the action to himself. In here, the fa'il is plural, and the maf'ul bihi is the same thing, same group of people, and they're carrying out the action to each other. This is called here a reciprocal pronoun. The same as reflexive, it's called reciprocal. Reflexive is when it's one person doing the action to himself, and reciprocal is when a group of people are doing the action to themselves. In English, they have a different name, reflexive and reciprocal, and in Arabic, they have slightly different usages as well. So for example, here, let's have a sentence. Ahsana means what? To be good. Now, who is the fa'il? Ba'adun is the fa'il, we have it in green. Ba'ad is the fa'il. Who is the maf'ul bihi ghayr sarih? Ila ba'd. This becomes our maf'ul bihi ghayr sarih. Ila jar majroor becomes the maf'ul bihi ghayr sarih. So how do you translate this? They are being good to each other. So this is the verb. The fa'il is a group of people, ba'adhuhum, for example, and the maf'ul bihi is the same group of people. Now in Arabic, how do you make this? In Arabic, what do you do? In Arabic, to make this, what do you do? You use the word ba'd as the fa'il. So the word ba'd becomes the fa'il. Whoever they are, whatever the group is, whether it's a pronoun or not a pronoun, this is the people doing. This is the fa'il real. This is the real fa'il. In Tarkib, you say ba'd mudaf mudaf ilayh becomes. But in terms of meaning, who is doing the action? The whoever the mudaf ilayh of ba'd is. In terms of meaning, not in terms of tarkib, in terms of meaning. And each other meaning is shown using ba'd as a mudaf to the fa'il and a ba'd as a maf'ul bihi, whether sarih or ghayr sarih. Do you understand? That's why when you translate this, you will translate what? The whom first, because the whom is a real fa'il in the meaning. So what is it translated as they? Then you translate it as the verb, done good. Then you do the ba'd and ba'd together as the reciprocal pronoun each other. So you say here, they, which is this word. Then the verb, asana, were good. So we list it properly here. So we have here, the whom is a fa'il. Not in Turkey, this is in meaning. In Turkey, you say mudaf, mudaf ilayh becomes a fa'il. Just for meaning wise. Yes, the fa'il is what? They. Who is a maf'ul bihi? Who's the fa'il, sorry? Were good. Ahsana. Then you use this ba'd and this ba'd and translate them together as each other. So they were good to each other. Understood? Yes? Okay. So in translation you have here, they were good to each other. Okay? Let's try another one. Who's left? Hamad family, one left from there. And when you finish, tell the next person to do it after you. How would you do this one?
The wall, how they completely destroyed the fort and the walls which are around the city.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, alu is the fa'il. This is the fa'il. And the ba'dan is?
Sorry. And the Roman one is 70, 80. Sorry.
Pardon me?
This is 70, 80.
That is the maf'ulun bihi. Correct? Now how would you translate this? Don't give me the translation. Tell me how you translate. Give me the method of translation. Not the actual translation, but the method of translation. See. What do we translate first?
It gives it a future meaning. But this is what was written in the book.
You translate the fa'il. Which part of the fa'il? The mudaf ilayh of the fa'il. You translate this first. Then the verb as normal. Then we translate the both ba'as together. And the translation will be the students asked each other. Sorry, my mistake. The students ask each other. You understand? G, next one.
Then, the Banu Israel
Ji.
temple was known as the Temple of Solomon. So at that time there was no masjid, as in what we know as a masjid. And
G, come on. Can somebody start please? Bismillah.
exact same place where this temple stood. Because some of
Yeah,
them tried to
yeah. Is the fa'il?
suggest
What kind of fa'il is it? Is it normal fa'il?
that it is in the city of
Yeah, so harfun nahyin.
some of the
It's fa'ilun nahyin. It's a negative command. Okay? Then
very same point is very is that
بعضكم is the fa'il
because they believe
and بعضا is the that is the maf'ulun bihi. Okay? Now how do you break بعضكم is what?
spark World War III. That if they were na'udhu to destroy the masjid and rebuild this temple which is there. And they say this will definitely happen. They're making preparations for it. That's
And translation will be?
others have tried to say that it is on a different land, away from this land.
Pardon me?
They took that view, they would start building tomorrow.
اغتاب يغتاب اغتيابا to backbite. So then we translate this first, this part of the fa'il first. Okay?
That same temple
You,
we refer to which they refer
and then the verb is a negative, but amr nahyun lil ghaib. You should not. So you
different location.
should not backbite
And you can just translate it, the masjid.
each other.
Masjid means not masjid as Muslims masjid. Masjid means
Yes, you got it? Okay. So if you have a look at this here now, the subject carrying out the action on itself. When the subject carries out the action on itself, if the subject is a singular subject, we call it a reflexive pronoun. What's it called? A reflexive pronoun. And you use the word nafs, daraba nafsahu for singular, and anfus for plural. So you say, for example, daraba, let's say, for example, zalama. He wronged, zalama nafsahu. And if it's plural, zalamu anfusahum, anfusahum. Zalamu anfusahum. And you translate it as self. So he wronged himself, they wronged themselves. If the plural subject is carrying out the action on themselves, you call this what? A reciprocal pronoun. Yes? And what do you use here? You use ba'd as a fa'il, and that becomes mudaf to the real meaning fa'il. What is fa'il in meaning? And then the other one is usually mansoob with tanween. Yes? And you translate it as each other. So let's do the same word. So here, ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ, he wronged himself. ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُم, they wronged themselves. And here will be what? ظَلَمَ بَعْضُهُم, or let's use a verb. ظَلَمَ بَعْضُ النَّاسِ بَعْضًا. ظَلَمَ بَعْضُ النَّاسِ بَعْضًا. The people wronged each other, oppressed each other. Do you understand? The reciprocal pronouns and the reflexive pronouns? Understood? Okay. Now this is a side note. Sometimes if the first ba'd, if the first ba'd is not fa'il. So in the previous example, it was a subject doing the action to itself or themselves. In here, this ba'd is not the fa'il, is it? Because it's maf'ul bihi. Do you understand? Is it maf'ul bihi in here? It's maf'ul bihi, it's not a fa'il. So then here it won't be each other. You hear some or others. For example, جَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ fitna. This is not a reciprocal pronoun because this is not fa'il. This is maf'ul bihi. If the first ba'd is fa'il, then it's reciprocal pronoun. If it's not, then you translate it differently. For example, جَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ fitna. We see here, we translate it as so جَعَلْنَا فاعل فاعل مفعول به أول فتنة مفعول به ثاني and لبعض مفعول له. Yes? So we translate this as what? We can say here, or you can make this not of the fitna. We translate this as what? We made some. So we made some of you. So here we have the word some of you, a test or a trial for others. So now here we have some and others. We don't say each other. So when the first ba'd is not a fa'il, then you use the word some and others. You don't use each other. Okay? Do you understand? Okay. Subhanallah wa bihamdi subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.